So I was actually deferred. Hey Maddsters, welcome back to my channel, and today's video is going to be about how I got accepted to the University of Michigan, or like kind of my college application process thing, you know what I mean. Okay, I also totally forgot to mention this, but I am not on admissions, so please do not send me your guys' resume, your applications or whatever, and ask me if you're gonna get in, because I don't know. I barely got in here. So just write something good, have someone edit it, look over it, but please don't ask me if you're gonna get into Michigan, because I really don't know. And some of the people, I'm like, how did you get in here? You're so smart. Or like, why did you choose here? More of that. And other people are like, how did you get in here? Like, you literally don't do anything. So don't ask me if you're getting into Michigan, because I don't know. And I'm not affiliated with admissions, so don't ask me that, please. Okay, thank you. So you guys might be like, Maddie, why didn't you do one of these before? Because I am class of 2023. This is like, they send everyone a free shirt, I think. But the reason why I did not do this video last year was because I was like low-key kind of like imposter syndrome at Michigan. I was like, I should not be here. Like, I'm not, like, these kids here are literally insanely smart. And I was like, no, like, I'm not smart enough to be here. But then I made it through my first year, so I figured, like, I have more credibility. So here we are, done with my second year. And now I will do a video about like kind of my application process and just overall applying to colleges and how I got to Michigan. I don't know, like my stats and stuff. So anyways, I don't know. But to start this off, so I was deferred. So not really sure what the actual like term is, but I applied early action, which just means that you hear back before. So I heard back December 24th that I was deferred. And so there's kind of like 3 levels, or 4, I guess. So there's accepted, which means you're in, rejected, which means you're out, waitlisted, which means that you have to wait in case someone who gets accepted is like, I'm not going to Michigan, and then they drop out, and then you move up to the wait list, up the list. And then there's deferred, which is, from my understanding, like, we like you, but we're not 100% sure, like, we don't have enough time to look at your application to like actually make a decision. It's not waitlisted, it's not rejected, it's not accepted, it's just like, give us some more time to let us look at your application, and then, we'll go from there. So that's what I got. So I got deferred, and I was just, waiting to hear back. It kind of took a long time, I realized. So I'm just going to start off with my stats and then go into like what college I applied to. So I would say my GPA was definitely my highest. So I was at a 4.1 out of 4.3. That was unweighted. And then weighted with APs, I was at like a 4.7 out of like 5 something. So my weighted was definitely like higher, but obviously like GPAs are so different among all the schools, so it's like totally like not the same. And I think on a college scale, out of just a 4.0, I only had 1 A- in high school, so I was probably at a 4.0, and if not like a 3.98 or something. So my GPA was definitely like really good. And then my ACT, however, was, I guess, like, it was still a good score, but it was like lower for Michigan standards. So I got a 32, which if you look at the averages, I think the average is 32 to 35. So I was definitely on that lower end. So that's why I was like, I don't know, because, everyone's like, oh my God, Maddie, did you get 35? I'm like, no, like, I did not. I'm much better at school than the standardized test. But anyways, so that was my ACT. And then my extracurriculars, as you guys know, gymnastics was like my #1. Go watch all my gymnastics vlogs, because they literally make me so like, oh, they're so good. They're such good vlogs, you guys. So gymnastics, I did that since I was 4 years old until I was a senior in high school. I was on the club team, the high school team, and so we won like state championships. I was a team captain as well. So that was definitely like my big thing, and that showed my commitment. And then also I did student council, and I was on the like e-board. So like, we didn't have president or whatever, but it was like a board of 6 people. So I was on that for 2 years. Class officer, so I helped plan prom. And then NHS, literally everyone does NHS, so whatever. French NHS, because I was in French and like slash French club. I didn't really do French club. Yeah, those were like kind of my school involvements. Mostly it was basically gymnastics and student council were my two big ones. I had a job, so I coached gymnastics for a little bit. I work at my lovely doctor's office too, so I put that on there. And my like big thing was that I wrote a book. So I wrote a book about prom. So here it is. It's called The Greatest Guide to Prom. You do not have to write a book to go to college, okay? This was just like one of my like little fun things. Kind of like the YouTube channel. Like the YouTube channel started out literally as a French extra credit project, and now look at us now. So you do not have to write a book to go to college, but... And to be honest, I didn't even write my essays about my book. I wrote my essays about gymnastics, which is like, don't do that. Like, write about something actually interesting. Don't write about the basic story, like sports story. But I did that. So I guess that was like my big thing. But even though I wrote a book, like I still got deferred. So I don't think it really made that big of a deal. I definitely could have exploited it a lot more, but I just didn't because I don't know why. Like personally, I thought that gymnastics was more... I don't know. Gymnastics just had a greater impact on my life than something that I did that was smaller. So, yeah. But those were like kind of like my stats and everything. For AP classes, I did AP Human Geography, AP Seminar, AP Lang, AP Physics, US History, AP Chem, AP Psych, Calc AB, and AP French. So I did 9 AP classes, which I think were pretty good. I got... mostly 4s on my tests. I got a 5 on Psych and Human Geography, and then 3s on like AP Lang and French and Physics. So I think I took a good amount of AP classes. Obviously, there are a ton of people who took way more than me. Like my roommate came in with 33 credits, so she was sophomore standing. I came in with 14. So there was that. Based off of that, I applied to a bunch of schools. So I did a bunch of like the Midwest schools, so like Michigan, Ohio State, Miami, Ohio. Not Michigan was not my safety schools, but those were like my safety schools. Oh, and Indiana. And then my reach schools, I did UCLA, I got waitlisted. I think I got waitlisted at UVA. I loved UVA. That one was so nice. Rejected from UNC, Duke, Cornell. Those are like kind of the big ones I applied to. To be honest, I don't really remember. That was kind of a long time ago. But I got rejected from most of them. So I was left with Michigan, Indiana. Those were like, well, actually Indiana was my number one. I was going to go to Indiana for a long time. Like my parents went there and it's like, I love that campus. I think Indiana's campus is way better than Michigan's. But I was in the Kelley School of Business, and so I was gonna go there, ready to like fill out all my housing for Indiana, and then I get the email that I got accepted to Michigan. I was like, oh my gosh, like I have to go to Michigan then, because I felt like the Kelley School of Business is great, like really good business school, but I wasn't 100% sure that I was gonna be set on business. So I was like, okay, so say I don't like business and I want to go down to like normal like LSA type of Indiana. I just felt like overall general Michigan LSA is better than Indiana's version of their LSA. So then that's why I chose Michigan. I don't really know where I was going with this, to be honest. I just want to tell you guys I got deferred and I got in. If I had to redo it over again, number one, write like actually interesting essays. I remember my Why Michigan was awful. I remember I talked about going to Brisbane, Australia in some kind of like a study abroad thing there. That was trash. My Common App essay was about gymnastics. I wrote a small part about my book and a small thing about something else random. But when you're writing essays, like if you're a senior in high school right now, like write your essay like literally after you finish watching this video. Get all your essays done over the summer, because then once school starts in the fall and you have actual school classes, like you're going to be swamped with doing college essays and classes. So if you can get your essays out of the way, at least have like a rough draft or something, and then once, you know, school comes closer, you refine it, then start turning in your applications, like that is way better. I did that. I wrote literally 100 pages of application essays over the summer. Then when school started, I just turned everything in, and everyone else was like stressing out because they had like school and applications and stuff. I'm like, stop, you should have just written it earlier. So definitely do that. Also, like, have schools that you actually are interested in and apply to, because like I knew I was never going to go to Iowa State. I visited Miami of Ohio and I didn't like it. I didn't really consider Ohio State. So yeah, like apply to schools that you think are somewhat realistic and that you would actually consider going to. Because like Duke, to be honest, I don't even know why I applied there because I didn't want to go there and I was never getting in there. Also, consider school size. So personally, like reflecting back, if I would have known how big Michigan was, I would have considered applying to more small schools, but also it's really hard to know. So at the time, I was only between Michigan and Indiana. I did not apply to any small school that was not like really hard to get into. So I wish I would have applied to smaller school because that, to be honest, probably would have impacted my decision. And I probably would not have even been at Michigan, but whatever, it's fine. So apply to schools of many different sizes and like aptitude levels. I don't know. You will most likely not get into very many schools, which is what I found. Definitely overshot a lot and wasted a lot of money and a lot of time applying. Also, applications, they're like less than 100 per application, but like that really adds up a lot. So consider that, especially when applying. You can have, like, there are people who help you with your essays. I applied to, like, UVA and Cornell, and I had someone, like, help me with my essays, which was, like, super helpful. I didn't get in, but, like, my essays the second round were, like, way better than my first round essays. So if you have the financial means to do so, like, highly recommend doing that. And then I absolutely hate the like why school essays because first of all, the websites of the schools are terrible. Like Michigan's website IT, I don't know what's going on with them. Like they are trash, okay? So it's really hard to navigate, but just find this random program that you think just like milk it, you know, like find this really random program that like might have to do with your interests and just like write about that, you know, research the website. Those are the worst essays you ever have to write, and because it's just like different, because you can like there's a degree of copy and pasting that you can do when applying to these schools, but yeah, it's just tough. Yeah, so overall, I don't know how COVID like has impacted the scores and stuff in ACT and SAT. I did really bad on the SAT, so I don't even remember what I got. And I only took it like once at the school, like at my high school. So yeah, I would say just like do really well on one of the tests or as well as you can. And based off your score, like that'll kind of give you a range of schools to apply to. Still do your reach schools, but like no, you're probably not going to get in, to be honest. At least I didn't. Like I thought that I was highly qualified, but I obviously wasn't. I've said this like multiple times, but college is really what you make of it. So even if you don't get into your number one school or like are where you want to go, it's fine, you know, as long as you use your resources, you know, like you put in the effort to do well, then it's not that big of a deal. Definitely work hard in high school. A few things that you're really passionate about. So for me, that was like gymnastics. And then I was just really involved in student council. So like do that kind of stuff. The college process, like the application process is terrible. I literally hated it. It's so sad when you just get rejected from all the places you want to go to. And even when you get deferred, you're like, oh man. Oh, I did write a letter of continued interest. So in one of my other videos, I talked about writing that, but I basically said like what else I did between the time of my application and to now. So I think I like won a scholarship or an award or something. So you can write one of those and just say, hey, I got deferred, but I'm still really interested in your school. I don't know if those will help. I don't know if I would have gotten into Michigan without that, but I don't think it hurts, you know. You can always just like, it's always nice to hear that you're still interested. So you can write one of those if you're deferred or possibly even waitlisted, and otherwise it's really just like a numbers game and a waiting game. And yeah, like kind of sucks. Sorry, this video is like kind of all over the place. I would say overall just work hard and like try hard in your essays. It's really not that big of a deal, to be honest. You just like get into some place, hopefully. And yeah, Michigan is also not the end all be all. So if you have your sights set on Michigan and you don't get in, it's okay. Like, it's fine. I didn't actually have a dream school, to be honest. Well, obviously I would have loved to go to Stanford, but like there's no way that was happening. Or UCLA. UCLA is so pretty. But it's fine if it didn't happen, you know, and you just figure out your way, and then you just go to school somewhere, or not. If you choose not to go to college too, like, that's awesome. You definitely save a lot of money. But thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know if you have any other questions. I'm really sorry, this video is like kind of all over the place. I just kind of like told you guys everything that happened to me. But yeah, so thanks for watching. Bye, Maddsters.